Okay. Awesome, awesome. So welcome, Christine. It's so good to have you back. We had you here, almost a month ago, where you read people's you read people's numbers, which means you're according to people's birthdays, you're able to identify what their life path is, and it's really cool. So welcome back. I'm glad that you're here.
Yeah, it's lovely to be back. Good
Yes.
morning, which is here, of course, in New Zealand.
Yeah, because you're in New Zealand. That's right.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
for those of you that are just tuning in, if you would like to have your numbers read and uncover the hidden meaning of your birthday, just type your birthday in the comments, and then Christine will go ahead and read them. And while we wait for a couple of people to post their comments into the broadcast, let's go ahead and let me see. Let me get this up on my phone so I can actively see people's comments. So 1 second here, and I'll turn this down. Okay, cool. So I should be able to see people's comments again, guys. If you want your numbers read, go ahead and type your birthday in the comments. Look, we already got one. All right, you ready to do it, Christine?
Absolutely. Let's go straight into it because that's the best way of doing this.
All
Definitely.
right.
Okay, so what's the numbers?
All right. So her number is Tina Louise. She's also known as my wife, who has I'm glad she's alive. I don't talk, her and I will have to talk about that some other time. So let's see what her life path.
Okay. So okay, great. So birth date.
August 24th, 1982.
So that's 24. I was going to show you how to do this too. I should really show you what I'm doing, which would be a really good thing. So I have to do it because we do our month second, not first. So I'll do it. I'll do it that. Yeah, I'll do it that way because it's the way I usually do it. So it's the 24th.
Yeah.
Of August 8th.
1982.
82. Okay. So I'm going to show you what I do so you can actually see how this is calculated. And it's really simple. The method I use is so simple, but it really works. It's fantastic. So I will show you what I'm doing.
Awesome.
20.
And while you're doing that, guys, if you want your numbers read, she usually goes for about 3 to 5 minutes per person. So we're going to do Tina, then we're going to do Ariane, and then we're going to do Kathy. So if you're tuning in, go ahead and leave your birthday, and then we'll get to you as soon as we can. We'll be on here until 4:30. And yeah, so if you want to pop your birthday in there and hop off for a few minutes, come out, whatever you want to do.
Okay, so I'm going to show you this here. If
Okay.
I can. So basically, probably not very good. I don't know whether you can see it. Oh, let's come over a bit. Okay, yeah. So that's the birth date there. So you've got, she's the 24th. So I'm adding the 2 and the 4 together, and that gives me a 6. Her year, 1982, I've added the 1 and the 9, plus the 8, plus the 2, which comes to 20. And so I brought that down, the 2 and the 0 is 2. So she's got a 20th 2 year, a 24/6 day, and then basically the whole lot gets added together, and that gives us 34. So I add the 4 and the 3 together, and that gives me a 7. So they're the basic numbers that I'm working with. Okay, just gives you an idea of how it's worked out. Very simple. Yeah, because I've been doing it for many years. But it is quite simple. Okay, so Tina, lots of sensitivity. She's got the 6 is it's a number that feels things really acutely. It's also the number that's very strong into justice. 6s are often animal people or people who they hate to see injustice. It's probably the one thing you'd fight about, I would say. You could get up and get really quite angry if you see people being treated badly or animals treated badly. Yeah, and you're often a person people turn to, the shoulder to cry on, because you do have that sensitivity. You've also got a 2, which is more sensitivity. You've got 2 sensitive numbers, but you've also got a 7, and your 7 is you're a people person. You need people, really important for you, and yet you also like your space, because 7s have a very strong link with nature. drawn to things like this. I'm not surprised you're the first person to to want to have your numbers done. Sevens are often drawn to things that are a little bit different, the spiritual life of some sort. So you definitely be drawn to that. What else I want, because it's only a very brief overview. Your 7 as well is usually around it's nature, it's the planet in general, really, and it's travel. It has a water connection, so water. It's ruled by Neptune, so there's often a tendency to travel to get overseas, which is over the water, and also a pull to different cultures. When you travel, if you travel, you won't be going as a tourist. You want to really get in and actually travel, and to really feel the culture. So people, important. I said there's the link with the animals and the sensitivity. I'd say that you're probably quite sensitive to not only atmosphere, but 6s can have reactions to things. But there's such a sensitive system. So maybe certain foods you wouldn't get on with, or medications. There's often a thing with that sensitivity. What else can I tell you in a short time? The water, we had the water, the travel, intuition. Oh, you are a person that would generally study other people. When you're not wanting to help other people, which you will want to do, 6s do that, 2s do that, sometimes they have to step back and look at their own things too, because they are the givers, they are the one that wants to be out there helping. But when you're not doing that, you also study, meaning you watch, you're a watcher, you observe things. And because of that, you often, know things before they're going to happen, which people can find disconcerting sometimes. It's like, well, I knew that was going to happen, I could tell. So 7s have that observation with other people, and they just know. And so it's hard sometimes to step back and not let people learn, sometimes the hard way. You know what I mean by that. Because you do that. Also hunches, you have quite strong hunches around things, and it's just that inner knowing that 7s have. So a mix, I suppose, in a nutshell, you'd have quite a good balance, because it's that feeling of being with people, needing to be with people, and being of help to people, but also being able to step back into your own space, which you do need to. And the nature thing, I would say, was a lockdown. I don't know what it's like there in the States now. We're just coming out of ours, really, here in New Zealand. But with you, part of you would have really, really loved it, because you're in your own space, away from people, because people can sometimes be quite, they don't always get it. You know what I mean by that too? They don't always get it. But at the same time, needing that link, because you'd be quite a touchy person, I would think. So the hug part would have been quite difficult for you. So that is a little bit about you, Tina. So I hope you got that one.
Yeah, she said everything's on point, and all of it's true so far. So Christine, I'm going to tag you just in the comments here, because I want everyone to know that you do private sessions, and there's so, like, what we're doing right now is literally just the tip of the iceberg.
It really, really is.
Yeah. She does hour to an hour and a half readings that are phenomenal and super affordable. So make sure to reach out to Christine. She does a lot of fundraising for different organizations. So sometimes half the cost will go towards an animal shelter, the other half will go towards her. And this is what she does for a living. And I've had 2 readings from her, and they were both phenomenal. And I've referred her to people before, which is why I bring her on. I invest an hour to show you guys what she does and how she does it. So just know that the reason we're doing this is to plant a seed for you, and to give you a gift, but also so you can reach out to her individually and see what you guys can work out for a one-on-one hour to hour and a half reading. It's much different than just numbers. If you want peace and understanding about where you're at in life right now, or what's going on, it's worth every bit of your time. So let me see who we have next. Okay, so next is Ariane Gardina Hudson, and her date of birth is the 19th
Yep.
of June, 1969.
1969. Okay, so let me just work those out quickly. Okay, so just double check I've got that. 19th of June, 1969, so that's 10, 1925, this is 25, 7, 25, 31, 40, 41. Okay, so we have, she has a 19-1 day, you've got 19-1 day, 25-7 year, and a 41-5 life path. So it's quite interesting. So a touch of the 7 for you, which I've just covered, which is it's the nature, the need for nature, and the travel across water, drawn to different things, shall we say. So it's that, it's almost like a bit of a soul knowing there is something more, and the 7s are often drawn to that. With your 1, that makes you very individual. Number 1s are really the pioneers. They're the ones that want to go out and do different things. They're the ones that want to set sail and discover new continents. So it's very much, you could say, an entrepreneurial number in a way. This is, unless they have had a particularly strong parent or strong parenting, where that need to be out in front has been maybe pushed down a little bit. So it can be because sometimes number 1s can say, oh, it doesn't sound like me, I'm not really out there, I've got lots of drive, I'm not going to go and discover new worlds. But that can be because the confidence was knocked when they were younger, or not, depending on what's happened. And we all have those upbringings, and different things have come into play. So generally the 1, it's that individuality. Every soul on this earth is different. The 1s are just a bit more different. They have an individuality. They don't get lost in the crowds. You know what I mean by that. So, and that's also a number that can be in their own space. You could, again, with a lockdown, you could quite happily be in your own space. Having said that, you've got a 5, and 5 is, you would not have had a dull life. 5s don't usually have dull lives, meaning there would have been lots of experience in it. And if you are the leader 1, and by leader too, it's that part of leading by example, not, well, we're going to do it my way. You know what I mean by that? Because the 1 can have that thing, because sometimes they have to have that drive to make something new happen. But it's good to lead by example rather than pushing people along at the same time. With your 5, that's the experience. So you will enjoy experience. Although I've said you would have enjoyed lockdown in a way because you've got your own space, part of you would not have liked it because there's a need for freedom. 5s have that need to be free. And if it's that feeling of kind of being enclosed or trapped, they're going to try and make a bid for freedom. So I hope you did okay in the lockdown. They can be the adrenaline junkies. They can enjoy different experiences. And just a quick thing with that life path is, it's like you're here to experience all things on earth, and it's a matter of enjoying each one or experiencing each one, then moving on, not staying stuck in one thing. You often find 5s are the ones that want to do the bungee jumping and all the really scary things that I would not want to do because I'm a 2. So it can be almost that need for thrill and adventure. Again, unless that was that need to be out there in the world, unless a very strong parent sort of push that or repress that a little bit, generally ones who are out there. They want to be out there and doing and discovering and inventing. so that's a little bit about you. So yeah, okay. I'm not sure with the timing here how I'm going, Alex. So because I can go on for ages for each person. Honestly, it's so interesting, and this is really the birth date when I'm doing readings for people, because I'm a touch of intuition with this, but mostly it's just about the birth dates. And again, I've been doing this for many, many years, so I have this understanding of it. When I'm doing a linking in with the person, the full reading, I'm kind of tuning into their inner being, their higher self, whatever you like to call it. And then it's just, I have my eyes closed, I'm running videos, you've experienced it, and there's a whole lot more. And what that's for is to bring understanding and a little bit of guidance and some clarity into these crazy times. And love, of course, because it's all to do with love. And leaving you with that really, really good feeling, which is what I do. And I love doing it. It's great. Anyway, so a little bit on the numbers.
You're really good at it. I wish we could do a live reading on here, but it's I don't know. I don't know about y'all. Y'all just need to book time with her personally. I mean, if we did, because when you can do a reading with Christine, I want to clarify, it's not a tarot card reading. It's not
at all.
Future psychic reading. Like that's what I thought. So I was not. It took me months to book my time with Christine, and she was twice meeting with other people. And then I was like, okay, I'm ready, because I needed to set time aside. And when I did, it was so much different. What Christine does is she closes her eyes and she links with what she calls your higher self, and with almost like the God self, and then visuals come in. And the first time I had my reading done, a girl came into the reading, and it was really, really powerful. And it sounds like now I'm saying like you connect with the dead, and that's not what it is, but it's visions and pictures. And this was like 6 months ago when we first did mine, and she saw me on a big snowball, and it was going downhill. And she said, it's almost as if you're on a snowball and you're rolling down, and you're trying not to lose control. But what I'm seeing is that you just need to let go and let the snowball take momentum and just let it keep going. And that was 6 months ago when I joined the company that I'm now like not top level leader with, but we reached big goals. Since then we've recruited over 110 people. Like, we've done amazing things, and her giving me the conviction that it does feel like I'm out of control. I really don't know I feel like I know what I'm doing. I don't know if I'm cut out for this. Like, all these questions I had, she helped confirm that and just push us forward. And then, and so
that's the key right there. Yeah, it's the confirming, because we're amazing. Human beings are amazing. We often know the answers in our heart, because that's what it's about, really. It's connecting back to your heart, and we really know. But it's the stories we tell ourselves, the old stories that say, no, I can't do that. No, I'm not worthy of that, or I don't have the value, whatever it is. And so really all I'm doing is helping connect people back to their hearts, bringing them back to what they already know. And it's that confirmation. And when it's a person that's a completely random person you don't know anything about, nobody knows anything about me, and I'm linking in, and I'm reminding them of what they know, it's like, well, how can you know that? That must be right, because that's what I'm feeling, that's what I'm knowing inside, and you've just confirmed it, and you're a random stranger. And that's wonderful. And it's to do with the feelings you get from it too. It's that, well, it's just that lovely. It's love. It's all about love, and loving ourselves, and having that love come through.
Yeah.
So yes, that is exactly it.
Yeah. That's great. And if you're just tuning in right now, you're just coming in, comment your birthday if you want, and Christine will do a free quick dive into what your birthday means for your life path and all that good stuff. So real quick, just want to note that Ariane said that she loved all of it. She's loved the lockdown. That's absolutely me. she had nothing but good things to say about her recent reading, and she just dropped her birthday. So next we have Brandy, and her date of birth is the 17th of January, 1973.
Fantastic. Okay, Brandy, just doing yours. Okay, so you've got a 17, 8. That's 10, 17, 18, 19, 20. I used to be terrible at maths. I'm good at numbers. Sort of. I did that last time, remember, and I couldn't add it up. It was funny. But I will add this one up. Okay, 10, 17, 18, 20. So it's 28, 29. Yeah. Okay, so very sensitive lady here, Brandy. And well done for putting your numbers up here too, because lots of sensitivity. But I'll start with your 8 because we haven't had an 8 yet. So with your 8, it's all that emotion and sensitivity within. But generally, 8s like to hide it, meaning that they like a bit of a facade around things, which is okay to have. It's really okay to have that because you have a great deal of sensitivity, and you know, it's choosing when or who you want to share that sensitivity with. So 8s can, that part of you that has that facade, that protection thing, again, which is really, really okay to have. It's partly then to show the world, hey, I'm okay. And then it's kind of, well, if I show the world I'm okay, I kind of must be okay, even if you're not inside and things are really quite tricky, which they could have been, I have to say, with the 8. 8s often have a lot in a lifetime, so they can have a lot of different experiences, and a lot of those can be through, you know, emotional experiences, and so they're the feelers. They are the feelers. I want to go into, there's a mix here. Partly you could lose yourself in business, the practicality. 8s like to be practical. You can have the workaholic who's an 8, because they can lose themselves in work and not then have to deal with all the emotion. And so it's a good way of just being kind of distracting is the word. But I want to go into your life path number here too. And that's the 11-2. It's what they call a master number. You would be very intuitive if your business and logical part, your mind, doesn't say that can't be right, which it tends to do because it's that real logical, yeah, but I want proof, I want this to, I want clarity on this, that can't be right. But actually, you see, you could be doing what I'm doing. Honestly, the intuition there is very strong with the 11-2. I have an 11-2 day. And part of the thing, you could say you're here to learn or to understand. I don't like learning. We'll go with understand, is trust. And yet trust will be quite a hard one for you. But it's trusting who you are. It's trusting those hunches you have. It's trusting that those, people call it the voice within. I don't really call it that. It's just knowing. You just know. And when you trust that and you listen, it gets better and better and better. Mostly, though, it's that self-doubt. What if I'm wrong? What if this is wrong? So one of the things I feel you're here to do is to really develop that intuition and that knowing, because it really is an amazing guide. You know, again, it's to do with your heart. Your heart knows, your logic sometimes doesn't, and so it's kind of listening to your heart more than your logic in a way, or balancing the two. And balance would be quite an important thing for you. People, you can, one minute you really love to be with people, you're a people person, you need that contact, and again, it's the hugging, it's the contact. Other times it's like, oh, just get me away again. Interesting, had a few people like that, with it's a bit of a balance. They want the space, but they need the people too, so it's kind of going between the two. So am I right with time? Is that about right? Great. So that is a little bit for you, Brandy. So yes, it's about listening to you. You
Mhm.
know best.
Yeah,
But it's learning to listen to it and to trust. Trust is a huge thing, trusting it. So trusting ourselves. We have the answers.
we have the answers.
We
Yes, we
do.
do. I read a so I read A Course in Miracles on days that I make time for it. By the way, before I go into this quick relation or whatever, Brandy said you nailed it. So just want you to know
Fantastic.
that you nailed it. It
Great.
was awesome. Again, for you guys that are just tuning in, let's see, what time is it? All right, so we still have a half an hour. And so go ahead. We have Stephanie up next. Go ahead and drop your birthday in the comments if you haven't already. Kathy, I saw, or I don't know if Kathy's still on here, but Kathy, I saw you did her reading last month. So
Oh, okay.
put hers in there. She's like, well, never mind. So Kathy, I'm going to encourage you. Oh, sorry. My mom was calling.
Hi, Mum.
I'll
She
tell
wants
her.
her numbers done.
Yeah, she should get her number. So I don't remember what I was saying. Anyways, drop your stuff in here, and then for Kathy, if she's listening, I will message her and I would encourage her to make an appointment with you. Again, that's kind of why we're doing this. We want to fundraise. We want to help people in need. And you know, Christine's amazing, and she wants to help, and she's awesome. So if you're just tuning in, drop your date of birth. Christine will she'll tell you what she'll uncover the hidden meaning of your birthday. And so and so what I was going to say, go ahead, Christine, were you going to say
I was
something?
going to say one thing I will say. So with the fundraising, how that works, and it's great because I can do it virtually, which of course I need to do because I'm on the other side of the world. I did a fundraising for an animal sanctuary recently. And so what they did is they donated to the animal sanctuary. I think it was $25 or something. And then we had a day set aside. They got in touch with me, either email or Facebook, whatever, made their appointments. So I had the slots throughout the day. They got a half an hour intuitive numbers reading. So they got something really good from it, and they donated at the same time. So anybody that wants to do a fundraiser for their charity or their cause, really happy to do those because it's a really lovely way to do it. And it's helping those animals. I'm an animal person, as you can hear. So yeah, that's what that is. There's something else I was going to say, but I can't remember. Oh, that's the other thing. I'm doing a fundraiser at the moment. It's for a very dear friend who rescues street dogs and cats in Morocco. That's running at the moment. And basically, same thing happens if you donate. Any donations over $25, get a half an hour reading with me. And it's to help. She's in lockdown too. She's a what is she? She's a events manager in an amazing hotel in lockdown, and so I'm helping her keep those dogs and cats fed, which is good. So I can probably do a link somewhere, and if people want to get into that, they can. So, but anyway, on to the numbers. Back to the numbers. So who have we got?
Yes. Okay. So we have Stephanie, and her date of birth is the 27th of January, 1982.
20.
So again, as Christine's doing this, if you want your numbers read, go ahead and drop your date of birth. We currently have no wait line, so Stephanie will be our not our last one, but we'll need another birthday. So drop your birthday so we can do your reading. You can be up next. And Stephanie, it's nice to meet you. Long time no chat.
Okay, Stephanie, lovely to meet you. Another number 9. I have a number 9 life path. Okay, so very strong. 9s are very strong people. 1s and 9s have that strength. Okay, with the 9, they're actually the humanitarians of the numbers. So they usually they can be idealistic. They usually have really good intentions. They want this world to be a better place. So they will strive for that. It can be difficult at times because it's like being constantly, it's like the optimist, that they really are the optimists. And so they'll come in with a really good intention or a good picture or something. Oh, and they have great, but by pictures, I'm gabbling a bit here because there's so much to say. They can really they can see the overview. So for you, you will see, oh, I know how we can get there. And you have this view of how you can get there, and you want to go straight to it, straight to the goods. I can see how we can do that. Other people who don't have 9s, no, but how can you do that? We have to do this step and that step. And the nine say, no, 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 we can just go straight there. And so because of that, there can be a bit of misunderstanding. People don't always get you. But your intentions are usually really, really, really good. And you really do want what's best for this world, for the planet. And so it's almost a visionary number. Nines can almost be visionary in how they sense things could be. They find it hard to be with what they call realists at times, because the realist, another word for a realist, sometimes can be a bit of a pessimist, and the nine finds that quite hard. But I had this great idea, and now you're telling me it's rubbish. So it can be really difficult. But nines hold that amazing intention. And for you, over this period, it would have been, because we've all been feeling the stuff that's going on. Obviously, it's been a really, really dramatic year. And so for you, it would be wanting to hold the good feelings. We are going to get through this. Things will improve. I just sense that. I just know that. I want to just go into your 30, because you've got a 30 as well here. That's your life path. Again, for you, it's intuition. All these three numbers have intuition in different ways. I've got a 3 as well. I've got a 9, 3, and 11. And so I have very strong intuition. Perhaps born with a small amount, but the rest has been what I have practiced and learned to do. You have a life path. It's like you were born with it already. You know how some of us we're going to be an athlete, and we can, it's like you're born running. So there is a natural ability there, and then you develop it. Everyone can do a lot of different things, but they have to practice it. So with you, that would have already been there. I'd say as a child, you were very sensitive in many ways. And again, if you were encouraged to have that intuition, it would have flourished really well. If you weren't, it could have been repressed. The other thing I want to say, there are two numbers, and I'll have to go to somebody else, but there are two numbers who, number 30 and number 31, there's not anything they can't actually do if they really want to. Now for you, if you have a really strong desire to do something, there is no reason why you can't actually achieve it. But the desire's got to be there. If the desire's not there, well, what the hell, couldn't care less. But if that really strong desire is there, there's very little you can't actually achieve, which is an incredible thing. So yeah, intuition, stuff around children, childhood. Where there's a 3, there are always things around children and childhood. But anyway, I will leave that there. I say I could go on for a long time. I won't. So everybody else can have but it's so lovely to meet you, Stephanie. Okay.
Awesome. So Stephanie, let us know if that was true for you. I'm sure it was, for the little I know about you. And I think that's, I don't know. I think that's you've read my numbers a couple times, but I think that one's also similar to mine with there's nothing you can't do.
I think you've got the 31. Have you got the 31?
I got the 31.
There it is. Those two numbers, the 31 and the 30. Different ways around. With the 30, it's the desire, meaning there's got to be that I really want this to happen desire. With the 31, it's the planning. They're quite different. So the 31 has the goal. They have to take the physical steps. They have to plan. Whereas the 30 will just have that overwhelming desire, and they will make it happen, whether it's planning or not. I have to bring in a little bit with the 4 year, because it's a 4 years, so that's an important thing for this year too. And it's an interesting thing because we've really been given the opportunity. It's almost like the planet has stopped for a moment and said, right, humans, reflect on who you truly want to be in this world. What kind of world do you want to live in? What foundation do you want to lay? What's that foundation to be based on? Is it all the hurrying and the and got to get here, got to get there, or is it the kindness, the compassion, the taking the time to smell the roses, being with nature, the animals, children, all those things, family, love? What's the important thing here? And so it's an opportunity to do that, but then put the planning in place. How do I plan that? What steps do I take to truly be in the world as I am, or who I want to be? This is the year for it. And my goodness, have we ever been stopped in our tracks? We really have. So anyway, next one.
Yeah. Well, I just want, so what Stephanie said is she likes to hear the words intuition and visionary. She definitely wants what's best for the world. So that's really cool. So we actually have we're open, you guys. There's no wait list. So if you want to throw your birthday in and have Christine read it, we could get to you right away. Other than that, you had talked about something about, you mentioned something earlier. I wanted to share for, like, I read A Course in Miracles I try to each morning. It's kind of my devotional. And this morning it talks about how happiness and my function are both in the same, right? So when you're happy, you're doing what God made you do, right? So remember to follow that. Follow your joy. There's a Dot's quotes out there, follow your bliss. And it's true. So when you're happy and you're doing what brings you joy, keep doing that. Even if it's hard, sometimes it's not always easy to do what brings you so much joy and brings you happiness. So keep doing it if overall it brings you joy, because that means you're doing what you were designed to do. If you believe that, right? So I'm not saying that's like the answer. I'm just saying if that's brings you hope, then follow that.
It's interesting, Alex, because I would go a bit further with that, and I would talk about energy and how, when you're in a good space, when you're doing something that brings you either excitement or appreciation or joy or any of those feel-good feelings, it transmits an energy. And that energy, I mean, you're feeling good, but that energy is something that kind of comes from you and affects the planet. It affects other people. And so it's the more we can do that, the better. But for me, there's a thing about being positive and having that true good feeling. Being positive doesn't always cut it, because it's like, oh, I'm feeling like shit. Am I allowed to say that, by the way? Oh, feeling bad inside.
Yeah, you can say that.
Feeling bad inside. We still here, New Zealand. Feeling bad inside, but having that positive thing, and it doesn't bring the authenticity. So, I truly believe what's happening on Earth at the moment is that we're dismantling. We're dismantling a lot of the old structures, including some of our beliefs and how we see things. So in that dismantling, it can feel uncomfortable. So it's no use me saying, well, actually, I'm not feeling great at all today, but I'm gonna smile, and it's like it's allowing it to be what it is. The key seems to be how soon we come back, how soon we can switch to a better feelings, and we're doing that a lot quicker. It used to be like something would floor you and you're stuck in it for weeks. Now we're recognizing, okay, this is an old pattern. That's why I'm feeling this way. I'll let it come up. It will be gone. It's uncomfortable. It will pass. And as soon as I'm able to, I will switch into what makes me feel good and bring that good energy in again.
Yes.
It's authentic. And that's what we have to do. This year brings that in as well. It brings in authenticity. It brings the real. Number 4 is about being real. And so it's bringing the transparency. We can see it in our governments all over the world, and all the structures. And it's about being real. So when you're feeling that feeling, okay, this doesn't feel good, something's coming up to see the light of day, it will pass. When it's passed, I will switch to, this thing makes me feel really good. Oh, it feels so good. And you can feel it. You can feel the energy from something good. That's what we're doing. Every time you switch to that good feeling, it's like we're changing the world, because we're changing ourselves, and each bit we change affects the whole. And it's incredible. An incredible time. Truly, truly believe that. Hard at times, absolutely, because we're dismantling, but such an exciting time to be living in. Truly.
Yeah, it is. And you're absolutely right. It's all about, just being able to, that you talked about bouncing back from, being set back. And when we're going through, it's all about authenticity this year. And instead of being stuck in a rut for a while, we're able to get out of it a bit quicker. And, I don't know, you and I talk about this all the time, but it's being able to identify what you need to do to get back into action, to get back in there, instead of having so much that we're able to do. Go to work, go out with friends, go over to family members' house, whatever we're doing, and now we're spending more time being. So you have to it's like we're being forced to figure out who we are and who we want to be, especially with, I think there's close to like 30 million people that have been laid off work since this all started. So talk about being forced into solitude, and like, you don't, I mean, when I go to work, it's almost a way for me to leave my, like, it's funny, I check my personal stuff at the door, yet I work right here, in my house all the time. But like, when I sit down at my desk, I can chuck everything. So like, but being able to face everything and rise instead of face everything and run, which, fear, it's funny, it's two things right there: face everything and run, face everything and rise. We can face everything and rise and go forward, if we just recognize what we need to do. So yeah, I agree 100%. 100%. Okay. So, we have Nana, and Nana is from London. So
hello. I used to be in London too.
Yep.
I got to New Zealand.
Yep.
Nana.
So he says he is a number 5. I don't know what his birthday is. If that'll work for you, let's do that. Otherwise,
I can tell you what number 5. It'd be good to know the birthday, but I can do number 5. Mostly I like to do the birthday because it's not just one number, Nana. It's you have your day, your year, and your life path, and it gives an overview. We're a combination of things. So I can tell you what the 5 is about. It will only give you one part there. So 5 is about experiencing. You could say 5s are here to experience what life has to offer, which is why they're often drawn to many different things. It's also why they have that sense of wanting the freedom to get out and to experience. So they can be as I said, they can be the adrenaline junkies. It's again, it's an experience. The key with the 5 is to experience lots of different things, but not stay stuck in any one thing, which can happen sometimes. So it really is, to experience life. You could say we're all here perhaps to, I don't say learn so much these days, because I'm a little bit over that learning, more to understand. We're here to understand perhaps, and to experience. You could say the 5 is here to experience everything. So that gives a really broad scope. Often, the thing that might, you'll relate to this, it's the thinking. The 5s have incredible imaginations. And although they want to take the risks, they want to go out and do the jumping from a plane or whatever, they can, with certain things like change, they want the excitement of change, but they want to instigate the change themselves, because what they can do with their imaginations, they can over-imagine the difficulties sometimes. So although there's that thing, let me get out and do this, oh gosh, that might not be too good, what if this happens? Amazing imaginations, very much in their heads at times, and very quick, so often very quick mentally. They can find, there are people, you'll know what I mean by this if you're a number 5, there are people, and then there are silly people. 5s don't tolerate silly people. Everyone has their place on this earth, but because the 5s are very quick mentally, it's like, oh, for goodness sake, why can't you do that? And this is where numerology is quite good, actually, because, it does make you realize we're all so different. And what one person finds really easy, another person finds quite difficult. And because we're here to understand different things. So I will say that the 5 is also often the social butterfly. They often know a lot of people. They're very good at being with lots of people. Not necessarily very close or deep friendships, but a lot of people, and they can be the social butterfly. They can enjoy, being busy and on the go. a lot of fives find things like meditation hard because it's stilling that mind. So for 5, it can be finding a way to do what you love, or being with nature even. Although, yeah, they're not hugely drawn to that. And depending on the other numbers, of course, that would make a difference. But finding a way to meditate without actually meditating. I say I've known a few 5s who've said that I can't do that. I can't stop my mind. And it's not about stopping your mind. It's about finding a way just to calm it, shall we say. So it's finding a thing that you could do. Might even be something like a gym where it's the exercising, and in that focus, it's like a meditation. So yeah, for the 5s, it is that it's the busyness. Lockdown for a 5 would be quite hard because you want to be active. But I say I don't know all the other numbers, so I can't. That's only the 5, what the 5 represents. It's not the whole picture though, because I don't have the other numbers. So I hope that has helped, Nana. I hope that's. I hope you've survived lockdown reasonably well, and you haven't been climbing the walls. You're doing something to keep you busy within that. Because again, it's a feeling of trapped. 5s hate to feel trapped. They hate to feel the freedom being restricted. So yeah.
He said, "You are right, and you nailed it. She is knowledgeable, and you are stripping him off."
Oh, okay.
We're striping. She is striping me off. Yeah, he said 100%. So I don't know.
Yeah.
So way to go. You're so great, Christine. You're so wonderful. You know what you're talking about. Okay, so we have it's 4:21, so we have about 9 minutes left, and I get one more birthday, so I think this will be, we might be able to fit 2 in, but we'll definitely do this one. So let's try
a bit shorter. We can. It's look, there's so much in this because it brings so much. I'm only touching on it. It's very. You can go into very deep things, which you would do on a one-to-one. It's not appropriate. I'm here to do that.
Yeah.
And sometimes you bring other people in. It helps you understand your relationships a whole lot more too. When you realize, hey, they're not being badly behaved, it's because of this. I'm not discounting when there is bad behavior, of course, that's a whole totally different thing. So, but it just brings that understanding. Okay, so who have we got?
Yes. Okay, so next we have Tanya, and her date of birth is the 14th of June, 1984.
Well, Tanya already will have understood some of what I've said because she's got a 5 day, so she will know that busyness. But I'll bring in her other numbers too. So 1984, that's 10, 18, 22. 4, 22, that's 28, 32. Oh, let's see if I've done that right. 10, 18, 19, 20, that's 22. 22, 28. Oh no, I did that wrong. Okay, 33. Okay. Well, Tanya, so some of that 5 that I just talked about, which I probably won't say too much more because you've already had that. It is that need for the freedom. It's the need to experience life here on Earth, shall we say. It can be that taking the risks, wanting the adrenaline rush thing, which is all part of the experiencing for the 5, and to go on to different things. Part of that with the 5 can be hard to stick to one thing. So the numbers that find it hard to see things through sometimes can be the 5 because they want to go on to the next experience. Oh, that's boring now. I'm done with that one. And the 3 can do that a little bit. Again, it's I think with the 3 they can just take on too much sometimes. No, it's not just that with the 3. It's the mix of the 2 personalities. 3 is a mix of the personality of the 1 and the 2 personality, which is chalk and cheese. So they switch between the 2, and because of that, they sometimes don't settle. It's more that. With the 5, it's just it gets boring. Done that. What's next? So where's the excitement coming from? So there is a bit of that. Now, with you've got a 33 life path, you've got 2 master numbers here, and generally, my belief is that everybody here has purpose. We are all here, especially at this time with all the things that are happening. We perhaps we chose to come here. I can't say that for sure. That's my sense. We're here for a really good reason, and it can be in many different ways, and we discover it as we go along. With a 33, and you've got a 22 as well. So that's often service to humanity. That's what that brings up. So it can be there's been lots of experiences, lots of things for you to go through that you've been through already. And part of that will be how you share what you have with the world, I suppose is the way to put it. So it's some kind of service to humanity. Because it's a 6, 6s are, they're natural healers actually. So they can often be drawn to the medical side of things. Veterinaries, medical people, where they're actually helping people. They like to, and it is a hands-on thing too. Again, it's the injustice. They hate the injustice. They love to see things that are helping animals or people. I've got a great fundraiser at the moment. It's all about helping dogs and cats in Morocco. So they love that sort of thing. They're the people, they feel it. They see something on television or they read something and an animal's been abused and they feel it and they really don't like it. It's the time they're likely to get most angry, if they get angry, is at injustice. Hate injustice, and so part of your pull would be towards giving service to those who don't have a voice, because you want fairness. 6s hate things not to be fair, and sometimes that can come through their own lives where it hasn't felt fair, and so they want to fight for other people. So that's that would be the pull for you. Because you've got a 22-4 as well, again, it's a master number, and that's usually master teacher. So it may be that in some way, if I looked at these numbers, Tanya, a lot of experience you've been through, you've had experience. It's giving service to the planet in some way, and it could come through some kind of teaching. So it could be sharing your knowledge with others. So yeah, there we are.
Awesome. Okay, cool. And Tanya said she loves dogs.
There we are. An animal sanctuary.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what we'll do is we'll leave the link in the comments or in the description here for where people can donate to her organization and help.
Yep. I don't know how I can, because it's on my Facebook page. I'm not sure how I could get that. Well, I suppose people could come onto the Facebook page and do it that way if they choose to. Yeah, they will then get a half-an-hour reading for that too. Yeah. So, and that can be set up on Zoom or
Facebook Messenger.
Or Facebook Messenger. So it's a fantastic thing, and she does an amazing job. She a lot of these countries do have a lot of street dogs and cats, and she's just incredible. She does it on her own. At the moment, she's got over 30 at her home that she's rescued. And what I focus on is not the awful, this animal has suffered, this has been terrible. I focus on where they're at now, and they are loved, and they are healthy, and they are fed, and that's my focus. Look at what this lady has done single-handedly, and would continue if it wasn't for the COVID thing. It would be continue. Well, she will do it anyway. But anything that can help her continue doing amazing work. Love it. Anyway, yes, so we have time for one more, did you say? I was going to say we can always do this again anyway, so we can have more people can come on and enjoy it. I mean, I love doing this, and I'm happy to give this. So, right, so who have we got? Catherine.
So we have Catherine. Oh, can you see the comment?
I can see that one.
Oh, cool.
I can just, that's the first one I've seen.
Oh, really?
Probably
Oh,
though, because I'm focusing on what I'm doing. I'm into the numbers, into connecting with people. So
yeah,
Catherine, you are the 29th. Do we have another master number here? They're all coming
yeah.
out. The first 70. So that's 10, that's a 17, 8, 17. Oh, interesting. So, yeah, Catherine. So Catherine has a doubling up of numbers here, and that's an interesting thing, because it's almost as if, we have all these different things to understand and experience while we're here. But when you get the doubling up, it's like, well, they're very, very determined to understand this particular thing. So I would say, for Catherine, intuition, the 2911-2 is you could say is the master intuitive. So really here to really listen to that intuition and trust it. You would have had so many moments in your life, I would say, where that voice has said, probably not a good idea to do that, or probably maybe you should do. And it's that can't be right. It's the head coming in, it's the logic coming in. That can't be right. So I can't really trust that. And then it turns out it was. So how you get good with your intuition is listening to it and practicing it. And even if it doesn't turn out, I remember years ago, I'd get a feeling, don't, well, I work with the animal kingdom a lot too. So I would have it sometimes coming through the animals. I'd get a bird often flying in front of the car or whatever, to remind me. All they're doing is reminding you to go back to your intuition. And so I think, now, what does that mean? It might mean I better slow down a bit. I'm going around the corner, and then I get around the corner, and there'd be a truck across the road or something, and so I'd miss it. So not exactly like that. And then sometimes I'd get that feeling, and nothing would be there, but I'd still listen anyway. And for me, it was bringing all those things. The animal kingdom was really bringing me back to stop and listen. What is that feeling inside saying? Just be aware. That's all it is. Just be aware. I'm going too fast. I'm not concentrating. Just be aware. So it brings an awareness. So for you, awareness is really, really important, and listening to that intuition, because, the more you do, that's what I'm trying to say, the thing with the car, the more you do it, the more you listen to it, even if it doesn't work out how you thought, but I thought that might mean something, even if that's not there, it will for some of the time. So it's listening always and practicing. Trust will be a huge thing for you. I would say that there hasn't always been a lot, your trust probably has been shattered, because it's that thing, twos give of themselves, and they give and they give. And then it's often not either appreciated, or it feels like kind of nothing's come back from it, shall we say, or it's not exactly abused, but it's that thing. Trust can get shattered. We've all experienced that. For the two, because they're extremely sensitive, and again, it is the giving, and so it's almost like, well, why would I bother doing that anymore? I can't trust anything. But trusting, what the trust comes down to is the trust in you, your own heart, what you believe in, God, the universe, and that is something that is there. It's there for us all. It's learning to listen. It's learning to trust. So that would be a big thing. But your intuition would be so powerful. Seriously, you could be doing what I'm doing, and it is about trusting it. People person, very much a people person, and needing to have that connection with people. But again, intuition is discerning which people. We don't want the people around us who don't reflect the growing inner value. And it is growing. This dismantling process is all about that. It truly is. We're learning to let go of those stories that told us we weren't good enough, or weren't valuable enough, whatever it was. We're learning to build new stories about how amazing we are, because we truly, truly are. And so part of the intuition. You get that feeling. You meet somebody and your inner being tells you, but it's like overriding that. Well, maybe it'll be okay, but we know. So we're moving away from the situations, beliefs, people, doesn't matter what it is, that don't reflect our growing value. And that's where your intuition is going to be really, really, and seriously, you would have an amazing intuition. It's just trusting it. If you don't already, you may have already come to understand this. And the truth of who you are. Truth is very important for 11. I could go on for ages. I'd like to go on with that one for ages, but I won't.
I wish
yeah.
you could too, especially with Kathy. She's very special. She's very special with me. She's one of my business partners, and
okay.
Because of her, like 6 months ago when I had my first reading with you, and then I reached out to her on Facebook and asked if she would let me come over and teach people about oils in her home. And now we have this huge organization together.
Oh, that's amazing. Cool. Okay.
She's very special to me. Not just because of that, but because we've worked alongside each other, and so I'm grateful that you've been able to give her that just a little gift. And she just got out of surgery, so
okay.
Yeah, so it's nice to have that. So maybe I'll donate $25 to the animal shelter to give her at the cause.
Fantastic. Happy to do that. Absolutely. I'd love you to connect with her.
I'd like
with anybody who wants to do that. It'd be great. So we run out of time.
Yes.
What a shame. Out of time. I love it. I love it. I've loved connecting with everybody today. It's an absolute pleasure. And we'll probably have to make this a regular thing, I think.
I know. I really think we need to. So maybe we'll do like whatever it is today, like the third or fourth Tuesday of every month. We'll come on and we'll do an hour-long reading. And
sounds good. Sounds good.
They were looking. I posted on here that are on my page earlier today that you'd be doing a reading, and we got a couple likes. So I think it's valuable for our community. It's valuable for at least everyone that I'm friends with on Facebook means something to me, and they're important. And I want them to know that, you know, everything's going to be okay. I'm a huge mental health advocate, recovering from suicide attempts and drug addiction and alcoholism, like all of those things. It's hard to live life on life's terms, and so it's nice to have some tools and some people that can help come alongside.
Absolutely.
That's my heart, and I know that's your heart too. So just being able to give people hope, especially during these times, it's very beneficial. So if anybody wants anything from Christine, again, you can make a $25 donation to the organization that I'm going to post. I'll figure it out, Christine. Don't you worry.
Great.
Get it on the comments, and you can make a simple $25 donation. You'll help a bunch of animals in need, and you'll get 30 minutes with Christine. It's well worth it. It's way more than just numbers. She can give you some real good confidence to go about in what you feel like you might be wanting to do or needing to do. She can help bring clarity to that. So it's been wonderful. Do you have anything else for people before we hop off?
Not really. Just I guess, just that authenticity, just letting things be what they be. But when you can, letting the processes work. But when you can, coming back to that, those good feelings when you can, because it's like every time you have a good feeling about something, meaning the joy, the excitement, even appreciation. Appreciation is a great word. I find that better than gratitude, in fact, because sometimes gratitude has that thing, well, you should be grateful, what's wrong with you? And that's not a good feeling. So appreciation is a kind of softer, rounder, oh, I so appreciate this. When you feel it, and it is to do with the feeling of it, you're sending that out into the world. It's not only you feeling good from it, but it does go out into the world. And so we are affecting much more than we realize every time we switch, when we're able to. Feeling good is it. Yeah, that's it. Love it.
Absolutely. Very, very cool. Okay, my friend. Well, again, as always, it's been a pleasure. I will stop the live stream, and then you and I can connect.
Fantastic. All right. Lovely to connect with everybody. I really enjoyed it.
Yay. Okay.
All right.
Bye, guys.